Hey everybody, welcome to That's Good Broncos. I am Brandon Perna. Yeah, not as excited today because the Broncos fucking lost 23-16 to the Atlanta Falcons. Got a lot of things I want to talk about right now. It's funny, when the Broncos lose, I feel like there's a lot more to discuss. Part of the thing I'm going to have to do is convince everybody that it's not the end of the world. That'll be fun. Where to start? Let's start at the big problem the Broncos have, and they had it last year, and it's the play at the offensive line positions. Ty Sambrailo had a rough game. It took a little too long, in my opinion, from the coaching staff to get him the help he needed. They moved Schofield over to right tackle, pulled Sambrailo, and put Darian Weems in there. Probably should have done that earlier. Or, at the very least, gotten a tight end over there to help chip whoever was rushing on that side of the ball. You saw Atlanta do that to Von Miller with the wide receiver. So, again, we saw that problem last year. The good news is Donald Stephenson should be back, I'm hoping, against San Diego. So I kind of look at this game against Atlanta as a sacrificial game for the Broncos. They don't start Trevor Siemian because they know they have a Thursday game coming up against a division rival, and if you have to pick a game, you want your quarterback to be healthy for that game. Virgil Green and Stephenson were both inactive. I expect at least one of those guys to be active for Thursday. After the game, Kubiak said both of those guys are very close to playing. So you keep those guys healthy because you know the big game is Thursday and you want them there for that game. So the right tackle position should get better when Stephenson returns. Even with Stephenson, it's not like he's an elite Pro Bowl tackle the Broncos are going to get there. But that problem translates to the run game and to Paxton Lynch. He's a rookie. He looked like a rookie. He didn't get any help from his offensive line or the run game. If the running game was working, the Broncos, I think, could have beaten Atlanta. Paxton didn't have any time to make his throws, and when he did, he made a lot of bad throws, overthrows, missed open targets, and of course, you know, he had his interception that resulted in points for Atlanta as well. Here's the thing you gotta think about here. The silver lining is the defense played well. Yes, they gave up that opening drive to the Falcons, and they gave up two really big plays to Tevin Coleman, who is just too fucking fast to be covered by a linebacker. But Atlanta was scoring 38 points per game coming into this matchup. Denver held them to 23 points, and they got no help from their offense. The defense got no fucking help, and they held Atlanta to 23 points. To me, that's a victory. Special teams, that punt that they didn't catch. I don't remember who was back there, if it was Norwood or somebody else, but the ball bounces to the 1 yard line. You put a rookie quarterback in a really shitty situation after your defense just made a hell of a stop for you. And of course, right after that's when Paxton threw the interception, and there was an open Emmanuel Sanders underneath on Paxton's pick. So that's the silver lining. I thought the defense played pretty well, besides, you know, struggling against Tevin Coleman and Freeman on the day. So that's the good news. The bad news, I don't know like John Lynch was talking during the game, saying, you know, Paxton's not playing great, but from what I've seen of him, he's got a bright future in the NFL. What the fuck did you see that I didn't from Paxton Lynch to make you say that right now? Sure, I know rookie quarterbacks, once they figure out the game, once they figure out how to make reads, where to go with the ball, a lot of the mistakes they're making can improve, but let's be honest, I didn't see anything from Paxton Lynch in this game that gives me confidence he has a bright future in the NFL as a quarterback. I think we saw how good Trevor Siemian really is and how much further along he is than Paxton Lynch right now, because let's face it, the offensive line hasn't been great all season. Siemian's been better, I think, at making reads, getting rid of the ball, and he is a much more accurate passer. Here's my problem with Paxton Lynch and why I haven't jumped on the Paxton hype train is if you're in the NFL and you still struggle with accuracy, what makes What makes analysts think that guy's gonna magically start throwing the ball more accurate? How many quarterbacks with poor accuracy have we ever seen flip a switch where they become surgeons with the football? I don't think it happens. You either know how to throw well or you don't, especially by that time. Now, I'm not saying Lynch is doomed and he's not going to be a good quarterback. I'm just saying I haven't seen anything from him that makes me think he will be, except for that he can run. And if you look back at most of the Super Bowls won recently, which quarterback won those Super Bowls that you would consider is an athletic quarterback? It's Russell Wilson, but he's also a pretty damn good thrower. Other than that, you've got a bunch of quarterbacks who their primary strength is throwing accurately, reading defenses correctly. As much as accuracy from your quarterback's important, so is the brain on him. And yes, maybe Lynch can develop there. We don't know. That's the big mystery here. So I just don't know why people... The other thing is Ty Sambrailo. John Lynch kept saying that, he didn't think Ty Sambrailo was healthy. That might be true, and that might be a reason he's struggling. But a lot of people make the assumption that Ty Sambrailo is a good offensive lineman. We saw him play 4 games last year before he got hurt, and he didn't look like a good offensive lineman. We assume that because the Broncos drafted him high, but we've seen nothing from Ty Sambrailo that suggests he's a good O-lineman. So those are some misconceptions, I think, that get said a lot, and all of a sudden we buy into the idea that, those things are true, and I don't think they are. So, silver lining, back to being positive. Defense still is good. Talib looked very good. They held Julio Jones to 2 catches? I don't know, I didn't check the stats, I shoulda, but they kept him in check. The mismatch was Tevin Coleman, and Atlanta exploited that. You gotta think that something's gonna change on the offensive side of the ball with Stephenson and Virgil Green returning and Trevor Siemian returning. If the Broncos offense helped the defense at all in that game, they could have won. A lot of penalties too. Penalties were another problem. And yes, the onside kick that the Broncos did, I looked back at it, he was offsides, so that was the right call by the refs. It was close, but he was offsides, and I don't know why you kick an onside kick there with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. Sure, it would have been genius if they recovered it like they did on the penalty play, but kick the ball deep, trust your defense to turn it over, and then give your offense better field position to score that touchdown you need. I will say, if you're not excited to play against Phillip Rivers Thursday, you're fucking nuts. And I do think the Broncos have a decent chance to win that game if they are healthy. I didn't watch San Diego today because it was happening during the game, and I didn't even see if they beat the Raiders or not. So, I don't know. There's so much I don't know right now. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Broncos. Make sure you subscribe here. Give me a follow on Twitter at Brandon Perna. Also, all of your Denver sports news needs can be found at bsndenversports.com. Rockies, Nuggets, Avalanche, CU, CSU, and as always, thanks to my friends at the Mile High Report for their support, the biggest Broncos blog on earth. The Broncos have lost 1 game. It's okay. This is how you correct things. This is how you fix your problems. You get kicked in the mouth a little bit. Unless you lose all your teeth and the dentist says, we can't fucking fix your teeth, then you're just like, oh man, I wish I didn't get kicked in the mouth because now I don't have teeth.